Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I hope everybody is having a good Friday. I'm going to wait a few minutes to get some people to come in and while I get situated here. But in the meantime, drop a note to say hi and welcome, as always, to all of the replay watchers today. Today, I want to talk to you really quick about how our style affects our success and why they should sometimes actually be a part of your overall goals, whether it's your corporate goals or even whether what for your entrepreneurial goals as well. Any of the links that I talk about, they are all in the description box below. I actually have a free closet mini detox course that you guys can use because it is definitely time to clean out your closets. And that is always the first step with building and creating your personal style for corporate or as an entrepreneur is to actually clean out your closet because then that will be able to set you up for success. So, do we think style matters for how we look and how we show up? Absolutely. And most of the time, we tend to underestimate the power of our own style that it has on our success. Because remember, your style is literally your personal, it's your, I like to sometimes call it your visual business card, because it is the first thing that we see, that people see, is how we look and how we present ourselves on a daily basis. And we always have to keep that in mind no matter what field that we are in. People are always looking at us and people are always watching us. And everybody that is joining, welcome. Thank you so much. The power of our presentation can be very powerful. And that it's so powerful that it actually speaks before we even say hello, before we even get a chance to shake somebody's hand. Someone in less, at one point it was 7 seconds. Now I think it's less than that, that people can make a subconscious decision about you just based upon how you look and how you present yourself. And that is extremely powerful. And I think sometimes we forget about how powerful that can be. Imagine if when you walk into a room and you may have on, I don't know, sweat clothes and a t-shirt and you're walking into an event, but someone else comes in and they have on a suit. Who do you think, if the two people are not known, so these are people that nobody knows, if they are not known people, who do you think that they will be attracted to more when they are in a professional setting? Even when we show up online, say for me, for example, how I show up online. Now, I could show up here with my head wrapped up if I had kept it wrapped up like 5 minutes before I got on here, or didn't do anything, like didn't change, say, my shirt or put on any jewelry. How would that affect what your thoughts are of me? Because you would see that first before I go in and provide you with what I'm talking about today. So you definitely always want to keep that in mind. And we also want to remember too, I'm learning along the way that if you begin to attach them, how your style and attach them to your goals, it will actually help you get you there further and will faster and will help you get you there because you have all the expertise, but now we're just missing this one part. So if you want to be in the C-suite or an executive in say in the next 3 to 5 years, the first question I might ask is, it has nothing to do with what are your credentials, because that's, I already know that you already have those. It's, well, how do you dress? How do you go to work? How do you show up? That's going to be the key. What is in your closet? Do you like getting dressed? All of this matters when building and getting to the next level in your career and how powerful our style can be. So here's a quote from Thomas Edison, and he once said, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it was dressed in overalls and it looks like work." And this happens all the time. Individuals with great potential and know what they're talking about and have a work ethic that is top notch are always overlooked because they look like work and they don't show up in the way that people will begin to show and take them serious and would not be able to overlook them. So if you sit in your desk and you say in the next 4 years, I want to be a director or anything of that nature. Yes, you know the work. Yes, you have a work ethic that is top notch that no one can deny. But guess what? That's all they see you as. And sometimes it's not our work that keeps us in the back, it's how we present ourselves. So if you come in, and I'm learning to kind of get over this. First, it's showing up. And that means just small, and this doesn't mean, I think sometimes people think that you have to do this big overhaul that you have to do. Not necessarily. It could be the small tweaks that can take someone from seeing you from sitting where you currently are at now to seeing you as to someone that they can put out in front. Because remember, when you're getting to those higher levels and those higher roles, you're going to be in front of people more than just the people that you work with. You're going to be with your internal candidates and your internal clients and customers, which are the other people in different departments that you work with. You're going to be with your outside clients, depending on what industry that you're in. Even as far when we talk about, say, even with being an entrepreneur, you still have to show up, because I could sit here and I could say, have all of these great things to say. But if I show up half as what I should be and not be a total package, you may or may not take me serious, or you might just overlook me altogether. So we definitely have to remember that people are visual first, and then everything else is secondary. And I was having this conversation with a friend of mine a couple days ago about interviews. And he asked me, he said, if someone were to come into an interview and they had on, and this will change it up just a little bit, but we were talking about interviews and how people show up. And if someone had on, say, and we were talking about men showing up, if they had on a floral shirt, so to speak, would they get the job? Or if it was a woman and had on the same thing, would they be looked at differently as well? So we were kind of talking about how people show up, how two people can show up, but be dressed the same, but you're going to get two different outcomes. Now, I would hope, and slowly but surely, one of the big things that I would like to do is I want to make sure that we kind of break that type of scenario, so that we can, when we show up, we are showing our personalities when we show up to work, because people also have to get to know us, which actually leads me into my first point, which is your style, your personal style affects your success because it has a positive effect on your self image. The old adage is, when you look good, guess what? You feel good. So when you feel good, you show up different. You stand different. You talk different. You even walk different. The whole air about you just changes. And it gives you that extra confidence that you may not always have. And you know how we're always trying to find that little bit of extra confidence if you're about to walk into a boardroom and you have a presentation and you need to give it your all, but you have the confidence, but you still just need to find a little bit more confidence. Guess what? Your style can help you do that. And when you walk in there, you're going to walk into that boardroom completely different. It almost as if like it changes your whole entire mood and elevates your whole entire mood to a point to where when you walk in there and you give that presentation, all of your fears, all of that are just left outside, and you knock that presentation out of the park. And guess what? You get that project, you get that promotion, all because of something that we overlook. Your style helped you reaching and obtaining that goal. So we want to remember that when also you dress, how and what you wear also affects that too. So you know you have your comfortable clothes like your big comfy sweaters, sweatshirts, t-shirts, leggings, and all those things. And it makes you feel a certain way. So it's the same thing when you build your professional wardrobe. It's the exact same thing. We're looking and buying clothes that make you feel comfortable, yet make you feel confident, that make you feel as if, I like to say, you're putting on an extension of your inside self. and you're putting on like your armor for the day that makes you just feel invincible and untouchable, and in such a way that it just lifts your spirits and lifts your moods. So number one, it's a positive effect on your self-image. And as you begin to do that, guess what? You'll begin to also change your thought process about how you look, and then it just becomes such just a natural progression to where one day, no matter what you have on, you will always feel that same way. So the next point is it establishes credibility. I always like to use, because I worked in the banking industry for a long time, many moons and many years ago, and it is a very conservative atmosphere and a conservative space. However, when I was talking to people about one of the most important things to them, their money, and how to save it, how to protect it, coming into getting loans, guess what? One of the things they first way see is, I am going to trust this person a little more because she's dressed professionally and in a suit and she knows what she's talking about. As opposed to, I may not know exactly what the heck I'm talking about, but I dress like I look what I'm talking about. And that also helps with the building the like, know, and trust factor. Because you present yourself well and because your style is put together and you have a look that says, I want to work with that person, you become credible in the credibility in their eyes. And what does that mean once you become credible with a person? That means that they will refer others to you. That means that they will help, always look for you for advice if they have something. And again, it's not always these big, huge things that we need to do right off the bat to kind of start this. It could start with just very small changes. And I will probably do a deeper dive of that at some point, about just some small changes that you could probably incorporate starting today, that you would be able to utilize to help with building and taking those small steps to building, establishing the credibility. And number three, adding your personal style. And I touched on this a little bit earlier. Adding your personal style to your professional wardrobe helps you stand out. And I think that's what a lot of us are maybe having difficulty with when we're trying to build our styles, especially as professionals, is how do we build a style that is both professional, but is also me at the core of who I am. And that, of course, comes with trying to do some reflection, trying and thinking about how is it that I want to show up? What do I feel looks good? And it could be something as simple as, and I always use this because I work in a environment that is kind of business casual. So you may come to work and it may be you can wear jeans and t-shirts to work. Fine. But how about by adding your personal style? So your personal style might be, we have the jeans, but you like to wear graphic t-shirts that have positive affirmations on them. So you want to incorporate that. So you find and you wear a t-shirt that has a positive affirmation. Then you may have, your blazer on top, or your personal style is you like nice, funky shoes, designer shoes that are very different, like something that I might not like, but it will catch my eye. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where did you get those shoes? Those are different, they're unique, and it makes you stand out, and oftentimes is a great conversation starter. Even though it's slowly changing in the corporate world to where we're being able to add our personal style a little more, I also think as entrepreneurs, we have free reign to kind of become and show up as our best selves, and to show up a little more and to have our personal style put us out, help us a little more, because with the personal style as an entrepreneur, people are going to automatically take notice. Now, I don't want you to think that you have to do all of this overnight and when creating this. No, this also always goes back to, what are your goals? And what those goals are, now you want to attach them to what are my style goals? What are my personal style goals in this professional entrepreneurial space? What is that? And you're going to kind of work with them hand in hand because they kind of, well, they do actually work together. Because the old adage, as I was always told growing up, you don't dress for the job you want, not for the job you currently have. Because remember, the job that you currently have, if you want to get higher and you want to get to the next level or levels, you're going to have to dress like those next levels and levels. And that is also going to depend on what industry you're in. So if someone's in tech, that is going to look way different than someone that's in investment banking, personal finance, hedge funds, etc. They're going to be completely different. But don't ever underestimate how your personal style can help you feel confident. It can bring credibility, and it can help you stand out in a positive way that we never or ever thought that we could have imagined to do so. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them into the comments below. I will not be here next week, but I will be back beginning in June, keeping track with my every Friday live streams. And please be sure to go ahead and access my free closet detox mini course, as that will help you get started with cleaning out your closet. Because around here in my little neck of the world, your closet is ground zero. And the only way to build and create the style that you actually want for yourself is you have to go in there and deal with the mess that is in there, clean it out, make space. So now we can build your style that you're looking for on intention and have a solid foundation to build it on. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys next week, well, the week after, in my next live stream. Bye, guys.